This week on Off the Cuff, we talk about current events and Bioshock,
Mostly Bioshock.
pretty much.
Pretty much all Bioshock.
All right, so as you heard in the opening, I'm your host, Michael Powers. Whoop, that's my belt buckle. What the hell happened there?
Keep your pants on, please.
I am
This is the
joined.
adult show.
I am joined by Art Danner
Hello.
and by Shanzi.
Hello.
And in the second half of this show, we're going to be going over some current events, mostly some GDCs, some PAX, some CEOs resigning, and yeah.
Fun stuff like that.
But the first half is going to be what we've been doing for the last week, which I didn't really do anything until today. So does anyone else want to start off with what they've been doing for the last week?
Sure.
I know Shanzi got XCOM.
Yep. Tried out XCOM. Yeah, so anyone who's not familiar with it, it's basically like a turn-based strategy game. Kind of like if you've ever played Hero Academy on iPhone.
No,
Or-
is it grid based like that?
Kinda.
Okay.
Say it's your guys' turn. He has a certain distance he can move. You can do most characters can do two actions in a turn, so it means you could move and then shoot, move, and then move again. Or you can
Shoot and shoot.
well, some characters can, that's like a special. But you can also dash, what it's called, which is run farther than you would be able to in one turn, but it uses up both of your turns for that guy. And like the benefit of that is, say an alien, because you're facing aliens, is posted up, he can be in a mode called Overwatch, which means if anybody moves within his sight line, he'll shoot at him.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's like normally if where I would stop would be right in front of him, I can make it so I can dash past him.
Now, is this the not too distant future?
I don't know if it ever I can't recall it ever giving
Does it seem like it is?
a time. Not really. Not when it starts off anyways. Because your guys are using like machine guns and shotguns and stuff and sniper rifles, and through getting the alien tech, your guys become more techy and futuristic. But it's more like you scavenge the shit from the aliens.
Okay, and then you like research it and you can upgrade your
Yeah,
stuff?
exactly. Like it's like, oh, I found this many, whatevers.
So wait,
It's all about resources. Like, say if I kill an alien, or I kill, like, there's 4 aliens on that particular grid, I kill all 4 of them, I get 4 of their bodies for like autopsies and stuff, and I get the fragments of whatever their weapons are. So I can use those as resources to build things. Like, say it's like, oh, if you do an autopsy on this one kind of alien, you'll find out, the kind of armor he uses or whatever. Or you take the fragments and you can use them to build alien weaponry. But you need the resources from those missions. But the thing is, you have to be careful during the missions. Like, every character defaults and can have a grenade, just as like an area effect. But say if you kill an enemy with a grenade, you destroy all of his stuff.
okay.
It's kind of like a trade-off. Like, okay, I'm going to do this super tech that's definitely going to kill this guy, but I'm foregoing anything valuable he could have.
Right.
and it's about managing. And when it's not in that turn-based grids, which is it's a flat grid. You're over a few, but there's different levels to the map. Like you could be going up a building, floor to floor.
Okay.
And height is an advantage. Like say there's one of them was a
okay,
gas
okay.
station, so I got my guy to go on the roof of the gas station. Yeah, I could have gone inside of it, but now he's on top. He can shoot over the cover that the guys are in and do more. He has a better chance of hurting them.
Can he also see guys farther away?
I think
Or
so.
is
I'm
this-
not. I'm not sure if that affects your
Attack.
sight range. Well, you can see. It's possible to see an enemy, him be within your sight range, but depending on what kind of gun you're using, or what kind of guy that is, he might not be able to hit him, or he's so far away. I can shoot at him if I want, but my percentage of hitting him is really low. Like, the guys at the very edge of your distance, you have a 12% chance of hitting him. You could shoot and possibly kill him, but you could shoot at him 4 times and miss.
Okay.
And I took your advice and I named people in my squad people that I actually knew.
So you're more invested in them.
Yeah. Well,
Or
this
not.
is going to be so fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
FTL.
Well, yeah. You can change
Shoot
just
me
about
out
everybody
the
in your
airlock.
anything about your squad mates or whatever. You can change pretty much anything about them. You can doesn't matter. It gives you the country of origin that they're from. So this guy's Japanese. I can make him look white if I want to, or I can make him black. It doesn't matter. I can give him pink hair, but I can't change his gender. Which I don't understand why, but anyways, so it was like the first squad it put a girl in there. So I'm like, okay, named it my sister, and she got blown away and dead. Now I no longer have her. She's gone. I can't. She's dead forever. So I felt really bad for like a minute.
And then I got a new squad mate.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, you start off with so many. Like it's like 10. You can only carry at the beginning. You can take 4 into battle with you by doing various upgrades. I think you can get it to 6.
Okay.
And more squad mates. That is because your turn consists of moving every guy in your team, not just one guy. So if I have 6 players, that's 12 technically moves I can do. And I don't have to do. There's no. I can change whatever order I want to do them in by hitting the tab buttons. I can move to whatever guy, and I don't have to take both of their turns at the exact same time. I can move this one, then go back to this one, then do this one's.
Can you save actions? Like,
What
if
do you
you
mean?
like, okay, so like you said, everyone gets like 2 actions a turn, right? So like, if you don't do it, if your guy doesn't move or shoot on your next turn, do
No,
you get
it
4?
doesn't. No, it will. No, you can't save actions because it won't actually let you keep those actions. Like it'll make you do something, even if you're doing something, it's just staying put.
Oh, okay.
It won't let you do that. It doesn't want to give. I'm guessing because it doesn't want to give you an unfair advantage. The next, save it up and then all of a sudden move back and across, forward and back across the screen. But it's pretty cool. You did different enemy types. Like there's these guys called Thin Men. They're like aliens that are trying to look like they're human. The very X-Filey, where it's like clearly that thing's not human, but it's wearing a business suit.
Darn those business suit wearing aliens.
Well, okay. Have you ever seen? This is going to be a really weird comparison.
Wait, when you
have you ever
say
seen?
when you say
what?
alien in a business suit, all I can think of is the silence from Doctor Who.
Kinda. Now put a really shitty wig on top of one of them. That's what they look like.
Okay.
I was going to use the analogy, you ever seen Charlie's Angels, where there's the Thin Man?
Yes.
It's played by, yeah, that's what they look like. It's fucking hysterical.
The Thin Man played by Crispin Glover.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they look like. But it's really interesting. It's sure you can overpower the enemy, but it's way more about strategy. Like you can take a really powerful guy, and if you use him shitty, you'll get your ass kicked by a normal dude.
Now, have you finished a campaign and started over? Or are you still
No, I
on
haven't
your first go through?
I'm still on my first go through with it because it's there's decent length to it.
Well, I've just heard that I heard a lot about people screwing themselves over early on, like devoting resources to the wrong place, and then they run up
It's
against
possible.
the wall.
because the way the game works is when you're not doing that turn-based strategy, you go back to what it's called your base or whatever. I forget what the fuck it's called. Think of like say it's an underground base chopped in half. You're looking at a side view of it, so you can see all the different rooms, like an ant farm.
Right.
And
an alien ant farm.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow. Anyways,
That's right.
Danner's a smooth criminal.
Yeah, but way to pick one of their cover
Like movies,
songs.
too.
Anyways, moving on from that. So you can say if I go to my laboratory, I can research stuff. You can only research one thing at a time. You can do different upgrades that let you research faster, and it takes days, quote unquote. And
like game days or real time days?
No, in-game days. But it's not. The time doesn't go forward. The way the time goes forward is kind of weird. You have like this in the command center. There's a globe, and when you're on it, that's how you get to your next mission. You hit Y to scan, and it can take days to scan and find something. So you may have days in between encounters, but to you, it's only like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And that goes through, and you can see a list of stuff and how many days it's got left to complete. Like ching, 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 and knocks them off, and so it's like, oh, you want to get this, you want to build these really cool upgraded guns for your guys, sure, but they're going to take 5 days. Then you go to that map, and your next encounter happens to be 3 days away, but you don't know that till it happens. You can choose to skip that encounter if you want. But say they're attacking fucking China. China gets pissed at you. You're an elite team
like S.H.I.E.L.D.
that is funded by everyone. Yeah, think like S.H.I.E.L.D., but say everyone's pouring money into it. If China gets pissed off enough at me because I'm not helping them, they'll leave. I can never get resources from them again. They're gone. I can never get soldiers from that place again. They're gone. And if you lose enough countries, you've lost the entire game. That's why people are getting fucked up. Is I can pour all the money I want to on my soldiers, but if I don't have satellites orbiting countries and jets to defend them against UFOs, they're gonna eventually all get fucked up and leave because I can't help them quick enough. So it's kind of like balancing between, okay, I only have this many resources. Where am I going to put them? Because every once in a while, these things, it'll be a UFO will be sighted.
Well, yeah, I heard about people like pimping out their troops and totally
forgetting their jets.
Shortchanging their fighters.
Well, the problem is if you don't build any, you only have 2, and they're only in the United States unless you build them and put them in other areas. So it's like, say if I never even think about that, never even go to build those, unless they attack the United States, I can't stop the UFOs. My fighters can't get to them.
Right. See, that's I've heard that. That's how you get yourself in a hole really quick.
Yeah, and if you don't have satellites orbiting countries, you can't see what's going on there.
Yeah, it ends up like you're building a house of cards, and it's like, okay, at what point am I going to get screwed over and wind's going to come through and start knocking everything down? And
it's weird because the default settings has autosaves disabled. I'm not sure why. But there's definitely been times where I've been going through like a match and it's like, I moved this guy here and aliens came and fucked him up. Oh God, he was so leveled up. They give ranks like lieutenant, whatever, captain, they level up and they get unique abilities to themselves. If he dies, he's gone. The guy that replaces him is a level 1.
So is there like a hardcore mode to this?
I think there is, but I think you have to beat the game in order to get to it.
Because that's the other thing I've heard about a lot of people playing on. They like that. Not, I think that's one of the reasons why there is no autosave. Why it's disabled is because that's kind of I think that's classic XCOM where you can't roll back the clock.
Yeah.
So you have to, you always have to be thinking. You can't just be like, oh man, I totally went down the wrong path. I'll just roll it back before I made that decision.
Yeah. So there's been a couple times where I've gone back and loaded an autosave where it's like, I'm not losing that guy. Screw it. Going back. And I'm not sure what decides it. When you get a new guy, he starts off, he's just a generic soldier. He has regular body armor, an assault rifle, and a grenade. And as you play, he'll level up. And when he gets to level, I think 2, he becomes a certain kind of guy. Like the guy that I named myself became like a heavy machine gunner. He gets like a big LMG.
Of course you do.
I didn't choose it. It just happened.
A big guy with a big gun.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Like your guy got a shotgun, so clearly it's never seen you play a shooter before. Danner's guy got a big machine gun. This other guy got a sniper rifle. And the big machine gun guys can get rocket launchers.
Woohoo!
But if you shoot a guy with him, he explodes and you get nothing.
Explosivo.
Yeah. And you can also destroy, like, there's cover in the game. And the way it works is, like, say I move this guy and there's a wall there. A shield icon will pop up on the wall, either a half shield or a whole shield. A whole shield means my guy gets there and he's completely covered. The best he can have, he can stand up and he's covered completely. Half shield is like if it's a low wall. So it's like he's more exposed. It's better than being out in the open, but it's still not good.
Okay.
So it's like, say a guy's hiding behind a wall. I shoot the rocket, I blow that wall away. It is no longer there.
Now, is it top down 3/4, or is it just top down?
Top down 3/4, and you can't rotate
The camera
on and you can, but you can't rotate on a vertical axis. Like I can't make it more above or bring it more down to ground level, but I can rotate it clockwise or counterclockwise.
Okay.
So I can get better looks, better angles and stuff. But it doesn't increase how much of the field your guys have, unshrouded.
See, it's funny that you went and picked this up because I've been listening to a lot of people talk about it. I was honestly thinking about picking it up at some point, and I kept waiting for it to hit that $40 price, which apparently it's now $40 anyways.
Yeah, that's how much it was when I got it.
And I've been waiting, and then you picked it up, and I was like, oh man, now maybe I can try it. And then they went ahead and announced it for iOS.
Yeah,
Like,
it's going to be on iPads and smartphones. I don't think was it just iOS?
It's just iOS right now. It's
okay,
and it's they said that it's the full game minus a few maps, but
I don't know. I saw the video showing the controls, and that's pretty slick.
They said that even playing through on the console version. If you in one playthrough, you will not see all the maps that are in the console version.
Yeah.
So that was like the thing they chose to eliminate from the iOS version was just maps.
Well, there's times where it's like, okay, two, alien abductions are happening, one in Italy, one in, Canada. You got to pick one. You can't do both.
Right. So
I'm sure they were like, okay, fuck Canada. We don't care about them.
No,
Italy it is.
My question though is there, because I looked at the box and it said 2-player. Is there like a cooperative mode to it, or is it just player versus player?
As far as I know, no. The multiplayer, I haven't tried it, but I did read up about it a little bit, looked at some videos. Say I have a squad of 4, and I'm playing against you. You have a squad of 4. We're just taking our turns and trying to kill each other.
Oh, that's boring.
But from what I understand is it's not just humans. Like I could have a team mixture of humans and aliens.
Right. That's kind of a bummer.
Oh, the poor baby. I mean, it's a turn-based strategy game. If the other person's not paying attention, it'll just sit on their turn forever, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Which, I mean, it kind of sucks. But I'm having fun with it. I mean, I've took a break from it the last couple of days.
Why?
I don't know.
Well, you know what? I think I know what Danner really wants to talk about, and that's the cave.
I do want to talk about the cave.
I got one more game to talk about first. Not including the meat and potatoes of the episode. I've been playing Bad Piggies on my cell phone, on my iPhone.
So the cave. Just kidding.
Fuck you. The game is actually really fun. Like,
I downloaded the demo, and I think loaded up to first level, and I go, "Oh, this is what this is," and then I deleted it off my phone.
Yeah, it's nothing to like Angry Birds at all.
Okay, I knew that, but what is it? What type of game is it?
Okay, it's basically like a. You ever play Ratchet and Clank? The one where they have to build vehicles, or Banjo-Kazooie? I'm sorry, Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this game is. It's like, okay, you have to get to here. You have to get your pig to this marker. It's usually like a finish line with like a piece of paper or something at it that you're trying to collect parts of a map so you can steal eggs. It's like this. It's like, okay, you have 4 wooden boxes, this wheel, this like this kind of stuff. Use what we give you to um traverse the terrain to get there. Now it's not always ground stuff. Like they'll give you balloons so you can like float over stuff.
Okay, this actually sounds kind of interesting.
I liked it. You said there's a demo or a free version out there, Danner?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, try it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You not like it and delete it, or not even play it and delete it?
Yeah.
But there's some really interesting ways because you don't have to do it the way it wants you to. You can use those things in weird, crazy ways. Like there's lots of times I don't use any close to all the parts, and your vehicle or what have you doesn't have to remain intact for you to win. Your pig just has to get to that end. So even if it fails, horribly, but your pig still rolls down the final hill and through the thing, mission, you beat that level.
This kind of sounds like the game that I've been watching videos of online called Crashtastic. Anyone heard of this game?
What's it on?
It's a PC game. But basically the guy that made it, it's a crash simulator. It's basically the same thing. It's all in 3D. And the parts that you get to build, the parts you use to build basically look like constructs pieces. You know what those are, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's basically just you have a little crash test dummy and you have to build a car, but it's not even like a real car. It's more like a constructs car. And you just have to get to the goal. And your power, the power that's supplied is from rockets. So you don't have a whole lot of control over how fast you're going.
Go.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this sounds like Crashtastic is a more like adult version. Like, does Bad Piggies have seem like it has real world like physics applied to it, or is it more like
there's physics in there, but I mean, there's weird things that there's no way it works. Like there's no way it's real world. Like
it also makes me think of Scribblenauts, although that's like a completely different game. Like, but it's kind of the same.
This game makes me think of a game that's nothing like
no.
this.
It makes me think of Scribblenauts in the fact that here's your goal, but in Scribblenauts does that too. But then they're like, okay, now just
find a way to do it.
Yeah, and it's just right out. Okay, so there's a cat in a tree. How are you going to get the cat out of the tree? Well, I'm going to get myself a jetpack and I'm going to fly up there and get it. Or you can just be really lame and be like, I'm going to get a ladder and go up there and get it.
I'm going to cut the tree down and fuck that cat. I'm saying not fuck the cat, but fuck him if he dies. Who cares?
I heard fuck my cat.
You want me to fuck your cat?
Well, you can. I don't have one, but whatever.
Okay, so go get a cat.
But they're so loving.
I hate cats.
Time out for a second. Is it still really bad, Danner?
Yeah, it's been really terrible pretty much the whole time, to the point where you guys even dropped out for 30 seconds and I couldn't hear any of your conversation.
Wait, what's going on?
I can hear Shanzi.
You guys sound awful to me. I figured it was just on my end, but I was almost concerned that I was sounding like you guys were.
No, you sound fine too. Everyone sounds fine coming to me.
Okay, well that's fine. Then don't worry.
Wait, what's going on?
Danner,
you guys are breaking up a lot. I can't. It's really staticky and sounds really terrible on my end.
I haven't even heard anything.
Okay. That's fine. Don't worry about it then. As long as it's fine on Mike's end, that's all that really matters. And as long as he can hear me, that's fine too.
Yep. That's all that matters. Danner doesn't need to participate.
Who cares if he hears the conversation?
All right. So any more you want to say about Bad Piggies?
How
much is it? If you
$1.99.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I mean, it's meh. I mean, it's not
it's
even
a big
even
commitment, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I was concerned. It's a big commitment. I had to move some money around.
That's gonna hurt the wallet, man. Might have to sell some stock.
You know what doesn't hurt the wallet? PlayStation Plus.
Wow.
It's terrible though. And
There's
by terrible, I mean I've bought so many games in the past.
Well, you haven't really bought any, have you? Or are they just
Oh
for
no, I bought a bunch.
the... well, good
because
going.
not only do you get free games, you also get games on
I bought a
sale.
season pass and I bought 2 games last night.
I bought the season pass for BioShock. So
Yes, I did as well.
So the cave.
the cave.
Um,
What is that even? I mean, I've seen things about it, but
is free on PlayStation Plus right now. It is very much not on Xbox Live. It's
nothing is.
It's $14.99 typically. But it's a Double Fine game, and it's made by the it's it's the Tim Schafer and the other executive. Tim Schafer didn't make this one. He was a producer on it. But it was the one that I can't think of the name of the games now. It's the pirate adventure games they did for Lucas.
I know exactly who you're talking about, and I'm trying to remember the guy's name right now too. And we look awful. He also did Deathspank, didn't he? He was the writer of Deathspank.
Yeah. But this is his new game called The Cave. It's like to me it feels kind of like
Ron Gilbert.
Yeah.
There we go.
It feels kind of like an old school like puzzle adventure game where every single stage of the game it's just a giant puzzle game. You have 7 characters to choose from in the beginning of the game, but you need 3 characters to do the puzzles. Each one of your characters has like a little special ability that they can do. That's unique to them. Like the twins have the ability to ghost. So if you have like a switch in a level, you could have the twins go up to it, and then a ghost presence of them will grab that switch, and then they can leave. And their ghost selves will hold on to that switch still while they go do other stuff.
I see.
The knight has the ability to go invulnerable and float while falling. So if he jumps off something, he can do the invulnerability bubble, and then he'll float down to safety. Or he can, get attacked by things and he stays invulnerable. The hillbilly can hold his breath underwater. He gets a bubble that pops up around his head. The time traveler can
teleport.
It's
the only thing I've heard about the game is that the time traveler can teleport. I'm helping.
Scientists can hack computing systems. Sorry, there's a lot of ums in a lot of these. I apologize. I'm trying to remember who else.
The Adventurer has a grapple hook.
The Adventurer has a grapple hook, which is pretty fucking pointless. Trying to go through the list of the 7 people. I had the twins, the knight, time traveler, the monk, which has the ability to grab items from distances with telekinesis.
That's how I like my monks. Superpowers.
Yeah. I think that's all 7. Sounds right. Okay. But basically what it is you get these 3 characters and you go to the cave. The narrator of the story is the cave.
Wait,
but
what?
It's the voice, the narrator is the cave itself. The cave is like,
so it'd be like, oh, these silly people are running around inside me.
People go to discover what they truly need in life. And basically, it pretty much comes down to the every single level or puzzle. Like, there's 3 levels in the game that no matter who you play with, you'll always go through. But there's 3 other levels in the game that each level specific to a character that's in your party. So you could play the game 3 times through, and you'll see something new every single time.
That's also the one complaint I've heard about the game is that because there's 7 characters, you get like two
You
and a
get
half
two full
unique-
playthroughs, and then you get one where you gotta
just do one character.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you get
but
it.
it's
So it's
I
like,
don't find
why
the
did they
puzzles
make
to-
it?
I don't find the puzzles to be but because it's different characters that you have in your party, you can do the story puzzles completely different ways depending on who you have and what their special ability is. So there's multiple different ways to do things in each of the puzzles, so it kind of keeps it fresh even though if you've played the same levels before. But to me, I like that kind of stuff. I know it's not one of those that it would mass appeal to everybody. But the beginning of the game, is the demo. If you play the demo, it's the first puzzle of the game. But you go into the cave, and the cave opens up, and you're in the cave's gift shop. And in order for you to gain access to the cave, you have to go into the employee storage portion of the cave and look for 3 items for them to sell in the gift shop. Well, as it turns out, the 3 items that you get in the gift shop are actually items from the previous group of people that went into the cave that all died. And
No, that's fun.
you're grabbing the items that they were essentially seeking for happiness, or the things that motivate them, and you grab those things and then you bring them in, give them to the gift shop, and then the cave opens up, and then you go into the first actual level, and then it basically traverses between your character's levels and then the levels that are already like set in the game.
Oh, lost Danner.
Throughout the levels, you find memories. They're just like storyboards, and I want to say there's 8 storyboards for each character. And that might be too many. Maybe there's only 7. But you find all the storyboards, and they kind of slowly unveil, like in storyboard, like why this person is the way they are, why it is they're looking for what they're looking for. And every single level in the entire game that's built around a character makes the basic, from what I got out from the game, is that the humanity is shit and we're all selfish assholes.
Whoa.
It's pretty much how every single level in the game is built.
I don't need a game to tell me that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's if you've played a Double Fine game before, it has that same feel and that sarcasm and that just slightly off kilter humor that every single Double Fine game has. And it's just it's a fun puzzle game, and it's just.
I did not know it had co-op.
It has co-op?
3-player co-op.
Really?
At least that's what the Wikipedia page says.
Well, crap.
It says single player co-op, 3 players local.
Oh, local?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's a couch game. That's awesome.
Well, that's kind of cool. I can see it being a fun couch game because it's a little difficult to. It takes a little while to traverse the levels when you got to switch between all 3 of the characters.
Yeah, you kind of have to plan out like
where you want people to be and who you want doing what. And,
yep.
Yeah, the Knights level was freaking hilarious. I played that one the other day. Because I've been through the game once.
Okay.
And I went through the game the second time, and I know I sent you a text message, and I go, "Oh man, this is even funnier the second time around." Because you played through the beginning of the game, right?
I played through the beginning. Okay.
But you went down and you got the 3 items downstairs.
I didn't
correct?
even do that.
You
I
did
now
it more
hang
than
on.
10 minutes in the game then.
See, I didn't stop playing the game because I didn't like the game. I just want to make that perfectly clear. I enjoyed what I played, but the problem is I sat down to play it like 10, 20 minutes before we had to start recording last week. And I just never went back. So I actually did the first puzzle, which is you get the transistor, and then you bait the monster, and then you pick him up with the claw.
Yeah.
And then you kind of traverse, and then I got a little bit farther than that, and that was it. And then we came in and recorded, and I just never went back. But I enjoyed what I played.
Well, the items you get are the previous people that visited the cave. Well, when you go through the second time, all the dead bodies in the cave and the items you grab are all the previous 3 party members from the first playthrough.
Oh.
Which I thought was humorous. Because basically now, instead, it won't be like the first time you played. It's every time you complete the game, it's going to be the last 3 party members that you played as in the last.
The first time you play through, it's just random people that did it before you, but
guys.
After that, it's all your guys.
It's funny at one point because they keep making reference to the like, did you find the other group, because they got lost and we never saw them again, and they keep referring to a clown, and eventually you find a bunch of skeletons, and one of them has a red nose and a wig. And eventually you do find the corpses of the previous group that went into the cave that never came out. And I was like, dead clowns are funny.
Nice.
So,
or horrifying, one of the two.
Oh god, the last level of the game is absolutely hilarious too. The island level is just all the humor is just very, very funny to me. I get a huge kick out of that, which I'm excited about, because on PlayStation Plus this week, stacking went on sale. It was like $4 maybe, so I bought stacking. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and playing stacking.
Look at you, Mr. Daddy Warbucks, just spending all sorts of money on games.
Hey, I didn't really spend that much money. Considering if I got a free $50 PSN card. So that's pretty much the only reason I've been spending a bunch of money on PSN.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Yeah, so that's mainly what it is. So I had to sign up for a credit card to get that for $50 to PSN, but that's besides the point. And I also bought Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light because that was $6.50 on sale.
Wasn't that free if you pre-ordered it somewhere? I think it was Walmart.
Not going to go into Walmart. Not worth it.
I agree. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But that game does have co-op because Andy's going to play with me. Eventually, when we're done playing BioShock.
And when Andy plays video games.
Yeah. And then I also picked up, I got a sweet deal. I got Singularity for $5 at Best Buy the other day. So I'm looking forward to that because I've heard good things about that game. So I got a ton of stuff to play.
That's the weird World War II one, right?
It actually
you're like fighting Nazis or whatever, but
it bounces between World War II and present day, and then the things that come out of the Singularity that are from between worlds. So it's kind of diverse and robust in what's going on. It's one of those games that I've heard it's a really solid shooter, but it's got a good storyline to it. Where it's not, I heard it just does a lot of things a little bit better than a lot of other games did, but it was very under the radar, and it was a Raven game, which I like Raven. They did Marvel Ultimate Alliance and did Wolverine, the Wolverine video game, not to be confused with the Wolverine movie, which was terrible, which they released a game.
The license game that was like way better than the movie was. Yeah, the license game
that was done a year ahead of time. That was based off of the original script before the writer's strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, there was the only parts of that game, there was a couple parts like, they like double erased his memory.
Yeah.
But that game was one of those games that was like guilty fun of chopping people in half.
Oh yeah.
The way Wolverine really would fight. Like I'm gonna slice this guy and he's gonna lose a leg.
Really, really bloody, and then you could actually watch him heal on screen.
Oh yeah, you get him down to his bones.
I was gonna say my favorite things about that game were the regenerating T-shirts.
Yes.
And
no, the T-shirts. It wasn't the T-shirts, but it was the pants, right?
Both of them, I thought.
Because I'm pretty sure that the shirts, the tops wouldn't, but it wouldn't let him go nude.
And then there was that pounce move.
Like, oh, let me jump 500 feet and
Yeah.
stab this guy in the chest.
Yep.
Dude, all I would do is do pounce, 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 back and forth.
Yeah, that's all I did too.
At least it was better than X2 Wolverine's Revenge. Because, man, that game was painful to play.
Didn't even try.
Well, Mark Hamill's voiced Wolverine in it.
So basically what Danner's been doing the last 2 weeks is hoarding video games so he doesn't have to worry about the next gen consoles.
Next gen consoles, because he's got 4 years worth of games.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think in the last 2 weeks, I think I've amassed 13 games that I have, and 3 of which I've played so far.
Man, that's
So,
how I was
More
bad.
than he played all last year.
All of a sudden, I don't feel so bad anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I'm just glad I didn't cut some, bullshit deal like you did, or I'm gonna buy a game and play it until the next one comes out.
Which I've failed only at Ni no Kuni, which that game doesn't do anything for me.
Eh.
Kind of realized I didn't like that game. How did I
I gotta
realize
say,
that?
I would ask you to let me borrow it, but honestly, I'm a little busy.
Really, another game? That's what you need right now? Like,
Yeah, that's the opposite of what I need right now.
So, let's talk
Oh,
about...
and I bought the new Hitman game on Groupon, and that showed up the day before BioShock, and I just kind of chuckled and go, "That's not going to get played anytime soon."
That was a fun game. I didn't
what
play
I've heard,
very much,
but you know what? It only sold 3 million copies, so
Hey, we're going to talk about that in the next segment. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is
okay.
Skyoshock.
I have a weight problem. Shut up.
Fat ass.
Let's talk about Skyoshock.
Skyoshock?
Yeah.
Really? That's what you're going with?
Yes, that's what I'm going with. So, okay, I just want to start by saying that there is no mistaking this game for anything other than BioShock. Like, from what I remember of the first game, which at this point, I've probably played about the same amount of time of both.
How much time have you put into BioShock so far?
The new one?
Yeah.
I probably did 5 hours today. I got I don't know, what's the last... I mean, according to Raptor, I'm now ahead of you. What's the last Vigor you picked up?
What's the last Vigor I picked up?
Yeah.
The Stampede one?
Yeah, I'm probably like maybe...
Bucking Bronco. That's what it is.
Probably like an hour, if that, in front of you. We probably stopped about the exact same spot, roughly.
Okay, I'm entering the Hall of Heroes. I'm in front of the first Patriot, mechanical Patriot that isn't in a glass case.
Right.
That's where I stopped.
Weapon and I just came out of the Hall of Heroes.
Yeah, we just got past. So I mean, not even an hour ahead of you.
So depending on how, I mean, it took me an hour ish.
All I know is I got to go visit. All I know is I got to go visit a bathroom in the movie theater.
What?
Yep. Because I know that's coming up on the right. As soon as I walk through that opening, there's the theater, and there's a bathroom, and there's a code in the theater. And I have the cipher already.
Oh,
wait, what?
Oh, I know what he's talking about, because I found that on my way out. You're talking about,
so wait, what
there's a cipher, kind of like finding the keys for those chests. There's a cipher on the wall, and...
The cipher wasn't on the wall. The code's on the wall. I found the cipher earlier.
Right, and actually, what's interesting about that is if you found the code without finding the cipher, there's a photo of where the cipher is on the ground.
Oh, that's interesting. I stumbled on the cipher by accident.
See, but yeah, so I'm now going. I know where the cipher is. I'm going to go find that and then go back.
Is it easy to miss the code on the wall?
All I know is it's in the bathroom. I haven't actually seen it myself yet. I was just told about it today.
Elizabeth pointed it out. I
she was
went
kind
in
of like,
there.
oh, look at this or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. And he's like, "Can you crack this? Because you're like the code whiz." And she's like, "I need a cipher to do that." So, but no, what I was getting at is it definitely reminds me of the first BioShock.
I was
Um,
gonna say it's weird because it feels like it does feel in exactly like BioShock, but it doesn't feel like
it
BioShock.
But yeah,
the atmosphere is not
this is
BioShock.
BioShock's, like cousin.
It's
Where it's
Well, I
not.
like I
mean,
can.
the sounds and the feel and all feel. I mean, it all, like I said, it all feels like BioShock, but like
The atmosphere is not BioShock.
the atmosphere isn't. But I can't get over the like people, like the fact that there's people there because I've been 2 games in a row where it's just ruins, and every time you walk in a room, you see somebody, you fucking shoot, and now it's like you hesitate every time you walk in someplace because you're like, can I shoot these people? Should I holster my gun? Most of
Is there a
the
way to
game
holster?
well, you can't really holster. You could just not
To put it away?
There's
put it in somebody's face.
there's 2 instances where I could not kill people. Like where
Well,
I
I
was
mean,
actually
yeah.
3. No. I'm trying to remember. 1 cuz I accidentally murdered a guy. So yeah, so I think there's only 2 instances.
Accidentally just murder a guy.
I felt actually after I did it I felt kind of bad. But there are 2 instances that like what you're talking about where I walked into a room and the first time I did it, I got the little text that said every time you don't have to shoot as soon as you enter a room. You can see what happens. But that's only happened twice so far. Every other room I've walked in, people have just started shooting me. But the one time I murdered the guy in cold blood. I don't know. Shawnsy knew what house I was talking about. I don't know
Yeah.
if you'll know.
Are you
Danner.
talking the one with the printing press in it?
No.
Okay.
There's a house that you cut through before that, and if you search the house, you find out that there's a chest in there that you need a key to unlock. I searched the house top to bottom, thinking it was going to be in there, and there's that one guy that's down in like the dining room area, and when he sees you, he's like, "Oh man, no, I'm on
on your side.
yeah,
Like,
I'm on your side, whatever." And he doesn't attack you; he just kind of stands there. And I searched the entire house looking for this key, and I couldn't find it. And I walked up to him, and I'm like, "Can I talk to you?" And I tried hitting X on him, and he doesn't say anything else to you. I was like staring at him and stuff, and then I was like, I wonder if he has it. And I just shot him in the chest once. And then I went over and looted his body, and he didn't have anything on him. And I was like, wow, I just murdered that guy for a key that he didn't even have.
What a dick are you?
I actually
Well,
felt kind of bad.
I was talking to Booth. There's a part in it's pretty early on. It's before you ever find.
I was gonna say
Elizabeth.
I found that
Where it's-
key. I just didn't know where the chest was.
I found the
Yeah.
key too eventually, and then I went back. But I was like, man, I murdered him in cold blood.
I don't know if you remember the part, Dinner, where it's like you're going in it. They're like all the soldiers are like praying. Yeah, I went through and meleeed every single fucking one of them.
Nice.
Well, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna walk past them, and then something's gonna happen. They're all gonna come after me. So I was like, like just fucking them up with the skyhook over and over and over.
And
Aliens
I
aren't
was like,
reacting.
oh, they're all pointing guns at me, and then boom, all of a sudden they're dropped and prayed. And I was like, I'm just gonna walk past all of you, but I had my gun on them the whole time.
No,
just
I
waiting
killed
for
all
something.
of them. But it was fun because when you kill them, their weapon, the ammos in for their weapons becomes available. You can't pick up their guns when they're praying, but as soon as you kill them, it's just another gun on the ground.
See, now
So,
I picked up
I
some weapons.
filled up on
when
ammo.
They were while they were praying.
It wouldn't let me pick them up, so I murdered them. And murder them, I did. So it's like my friend's watching, and she's like, you just killed like 30 people that were praying.
It's
Kind
okay
of a
because
fucking asshole.
it's hard because almost shortly after that you hear some recording that says you only killed 8 people.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's wrong. But okay, so I'm enjoying the game a lot more than I enjoyed BioShock. And I think that's because the atmosphere is different. Like the atmosphere in BioShock was really good, and I think the atmosphere in Infinite is also really good. It's just they're two one's not as dreary as the other one.
Yeah, well,
Um,
they were going for a completely different, because originally when they did the first build of the game, it was storming all the time and it was gloomy all the time, and then Ken Levine was like, we gotta get away from this. And then I like how stark of a contrast it is
Oh yeah,
from
it's definitely
the BioShock games. But it's still, like I said, basically ultimately it's still a BioShock game. I mean, for God's sakes, they kept it in the title.
well, I mean,
So,
well, not only that, like I said, there's no mistaking this.
yeah.
Like it's definitely a BioShock game.
And it's one of those, I don't know how much stuff I want to go into because I don't want to spoil stuff for people that haven't played it.
No,
but
we're not
is
doing
it-
a spoiler cast, but if you can be vague, I mean, the three of us have played the same stuff.
yeah.
the two reoccurring characters from the beginning of the game, they keep popping up.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm very intrigued by
What's gonna
them.
go on there?
I've
The
dubbed
fact
them
that they keep referring to the experiment and that I don't know. I mean, it's
I've dubbed
it's
them
very-
the twins.
very interesting. I'm enjoying I'm enjoying a lot of the stuff because the game's really making me like, where the hell is this going? Did anybody get the Simpsons reference?
Wait,
No.
which
game?
Simpsons reference?
The barbershop quartet. The name of the barbershop quartet,
I didn't see what they were. What was it?
the B Sharps,
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't see that.
which
I
was the
wouldn't have
name
known
of
that.
Homer's barbershop quartet in The Simpsons,
I wouldn't have known that.
and the fact that they were singing "God Only," that Beach Boy song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't remember what the name is, but I remember. Yeah.
Did you also get the other one that made me chuckle was the organ grinding music when you're in the Disneyland type theme park? Did you pay attention and hear what the music was?
Was it Small World?
No.
No, it was "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" by Cyndi Lauper, done in organ grinding
That
music.
organ. No, I didn't get that.
Oh my
I
god!
was too
they're
busy. I was too
so-
busy doing the mini games.
Yeah, and also if you look at the B Sharps poster, it says the hits of tomorrow today. So like just the implications of how much they're building the time traveling portion of this, I'm just so intrigued to see what's going on.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard when the first tear opens in Paris.
Revenge of the Jedi.
Revenge of the Jedi, but more so the Tears for Fears. Everyone Wants to Rule the World song playing.
Oh, I didn't.
That was going
Oh,
on.
I didn't pick that up.
What is wrong with you guys?
I'm not a music guy.
We were.
I'm not.
Every single piece of music in this entire game so far that I've heard is a reference to pretty much the 80s and 70s and 80s.
Like, I'm just not. That music has never been a thing for me. So
Yeah.
I just, that's why I don't. It doesn't. I'm not saying the music in the
Yeah.
game is bad. I mean, I've enjoyed the music, but I wasn't sitting there going, "What is?"
I didn't
that?
pick up those things. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Nice manly song to pick up, by the way, Art. Just saying.
Hey, at least I'm getting the most out of my experience. So, fuck you.
I
guys.
killed a congregation of worshipers. I'm getting plenty out of this
Well,
game.
and the opening was just like me and Andy talked about this today. I watched the opening online. I watched the opening 10-minute video, and it just didn't seem like it did it justice. Now, I will say that graphically, I'm not as nearly blown away as I thought I would be. But I also know that the PC version is just gorgeous
Yeah.
from what I've heard.
Yeah.
It's just disappointing when you get really close up with a lot of the posters in the game that everything's a little, pixelated and stuff
Off.
like that,
Yeah.
which I can get past. I mean, I spent 45 minutes, maybe an hour, before the lottery, just walking around and looking at everything.
Oh,
and
I did. Yeah, the same
just-
here.
I
Like,
spent
I don't.
so much time.
I think
just-
the time before I actually was in conflict with anybody was like an hour.
Yeah, I just I'm just like, man, just everything looks so cool, and there's so much going on, and it's just it's nice that there's no real like narrative going on, that is kind of slowly letting you form your
It's
own
just like,
opinion of
yeah,
what this place is. Um, and seeing all that stuff going on, and the I know Mike probably blew past most of this stuff.
Actually, I haven't blown past a lot of anything.
yeah. I've
Okay.
been going pretty
Have you
slow.
actually been listening to the recordings and
Abs-
stuff?
Absolutely.
Because
Yep, I
okay,
listen to every recording as soon as I pick it up.
because I find that those, especially in a Bioshock game, those really add to the mythos and the story of what's going on.
Oh, but the difference between the tapes and what happened in Tomb Raider, which it is, I could keep playing.
Yeah.
Whereas Tomb Raider, I'm stuck looking at a wall of text while someone reads it to me. Like
Uh,
if I could have gone back into the game and I could have still gotten the descriptive narrative, that
Yeah.
would have been fine. But I had to sit there and stare at the screen while someone slowly read something. I was kind of like, "Oh, this is stupid." But no, I've listened to every single one of those. I enjoyed those in the first BioShock.
I'm enjoying the hell out of the Nickelodeon movie, Real Things.
I've missed one. I saw it, and then something happened, and then I completely forgot to go and look at it. But I've only missed one
As
of them.
far
so
as
far.
I know, I've hit everyone I've seen. So I've hit doubles too. Where
Doubles.
it was the yeah, where I've seen the same one twice, yeah.
And
In
after
different areas.
after 5 hours of playing the game, the only thing I can that just keeps just sticking with me is how much I want a Songbird plush.
I
I
know,
I
right?
want to stuff Songbird so bad now.
So, what is supposed to be the big daddy in this game?
There isn't
Have we
one.
even seen them yet?
the handymans.
Well, the handyman are the closest thing to him. You saw one at the carnival.
Yeah, but have you? I
It
haven't.
looked like a big guy with a regular head and
Yeah,
fought
I,
one?
I
No,
mean,
I haven't
I've
fought one
seen him,
either.
but have we fought them yet?
No, you
Okay,
haven't.
No.
that's what I was. Okay,
Because
Is it-
I was gonna say I know Andy's about an hour further than me, and he just saw his second one, but he still hasn't fought one yet. And from what I hear, did any of you guys get any of the pre-order bonuses?
I have the one from Best Buy, but I
I
haven't
didn't pre-order
redeemed
it. I didn't pre-order it.
There's a piece of clothing that you get that you're going to want.
What is it?
50% damage reduction on all, or it takes 50% less damage to kill handyman.
Now,
Ooh, what article of clothing does it replace?
I think it's
Or what section?
I think it's a vest.
Because
so
I like the vest I have right now that gives me plus 75% ammo capacity in a clip.
Yeah, I have that one as well.
So-
But
I know Shanzi is playing on easy.
I'm playing
Yep.
it on hard.
I'm playing it on normal. So
Well, I put on easy and I was talking to Mike about this. I was like, man, it's a bit too easy. But then I went to switch to normal and it's like, oh, it'll affect your achievements. Didn't tell me how though.
it's
So I'm like, nope.
it's probably like you won't get the medium achievement. Like for beating, that's probably what it is. You probably won't get like even if you finish the game out on
Because you're
medium.
switching
Because
halfway
I've played
through
the first.
or
Yeah.
through a
Well,
portion.
fuck that then. No point in switching. I'll just wait and play. I'll have to play it through 3 times then. Oh no.
But what I was going to get to is I know, like when you guys got the season pass, you got a whole bunch of the
Stuff.
elixirs,
The infuses.
the
I don't-
infuses.
Oh, that came with the season pass? Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I
I
had
talked
three-
to
I had the
that
Best
one
Buy
room that had
code
like
and-
5 or 6 of them.
Yeah. I had the Best Buy code, which gave me stuff, and I had the Industrial Revolution code, which also gave me stuff.
okay, I haven't redeemed my Best Buy code yet. Maybe I should do that.
Okay.
But
I because I was in it's the blue ribbon is where because I played a couple hours of the game and then I had to go get graded from school. And I stopped in the blue ribbon and I put in when I got home I put in all those codes, and then when I played later that night I came in and I started writing the blue ribbon, and when I walked in there, every table in the entire dining room was filled with packages.
Now, is this when you got the
Cool
season?
stuff. Yeah.
Like, did you redeem the season pass?
I redeemed the season pass. I did the Best Buy pass, and I did the Industrial Revolution pass. And I got the gold pistol. I got the gold machine gun. I got 8 articles of clothing. I got 4. No, I got 4 of the what is it? The tonics,
Infusions?
the infusions. There
The
we go.
infuser.
And then I got
Infusions,
500 eagles, and then I got 5 lock picks.
Okay,
Oh,
that's probably all from the season pass.
No, the 500,
most of it. The lock
500
picks
eagles,
isn't-
the 5 lock picks, and I know and a sniper rifle all came with. I had a sniper rifle upgrade, and that was all with the Industrial Revolution thing.
Okay, because
Yeah.
well,
What I got with just the season
And the
pass
Best Buy
was
thing was the
4
gold
articles and like
was the
5
gold
infuses. Yeah, those are awesome.
so basically what I was getting at is I don't have any of that stuff, and I've only found 4 or 5 infusions.
I've have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 so
But
far.
like,
Yeah.
but like you said, some of those came with your season
3 of them
pass. So, I mean, I know where more are. I just didn't have access to them yet. I'm going back to get them.
Any ones I've seen I've gotten so far. I haven't seen any
Well-
out of my hands as of yet.
There's one that I saw right when I got ambushed in the ticket station.
Okay.
It was behind the ticket taker that stabs you in the hand.
Yep, I got that one.
I ran out of there. I didn't like she was running away from me for killing all those people, and I was like, I don't want to lose her.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
So I took off after her, but I'm gonna go back and get that one. That's the only one I've seen that I haven't. That's the only one that I've actually seen that I haven't gotten to yet. So all the other ones, if I've seen them, I've gotten them. But no, I'm enjoying it. I can see why it's getting. I mean, even early on, I can see why it's getting the praise that it's getting.
It just seems like it's not. I'm not going to go out and say it's a perfect game, because I've noticed.
No.
There's a few things that I've noticed that aren't perfect, but it's the things that aren't perfect are so minuscule towards the entire game and experience. I'm just like,
Can I ask what they are?
There's been some frame rate issues, some small texture popping issues, very very small. But I've just noticed like when you're doing like almost a full 360 turn that I can notice kind of like the frame line pop in.
Oh, the screen tearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I noticed that once when I did a really quick turn. That other than that, I haven't noticed
seen it in the first hour of the game. It happened like 3 or 4 times. But like I said, it was one of those things that I was like, it's a game. It's not going to be completely 100% perfect. I get that.
I will
Yeah.
say now I'm glad I got it on the 360 then, because I haven't seen any of that outside of like when I tried like really hard to like I did the thing you did, which is spin it around.
Yeah.
But once I even when I started the game, the sensitivity was way too high, so
Yeah.
I turned it down like 1 or 2 notches, and all of a sudden it became comfortable to play with. And I haven't seen anything yet. In fact, one of the interesting things I found in the options was a frame rate lock.
Yeah, there is one.
It's on by default on the 360.
Oh, it's on by default on the PS3 also.
So I just left that on. I haven't really noticed any. I mean, I haven't noticed it drop too drastically in any key points. And then the one thing I will say though, this is the first game. It's not the first one, but it was kind of annoying to get it set up just right, because they like when you turn it on, they're like adjust the brightness till you can barely see the thing in the center. Okay, and they're like, okay, now what are your screen margins? And you have to like adjust those bars.
But
And
BioShock 2 did the same thing.
I didn't play BioShock 2.
Yeah, but
But
I didn't mind that, but I don't know if it was just me doing wrong. But when I adjusted the margins, I put those lines right at the edge of my screen, which I'm guessing is wrong because it tops and bottoms. And then as soon as the first bit of like the first title of something popped up across the top, it was half cut off.
I did that. I had to tweak mine 3 times because my TV, I have it set up so there is no overscan. And
Yeah.
so when I put the bars all the way to the side, I couldn't. Like I couldn't even see the bars. So there was like either in for like overscan or like it was almost at the edge. So I had like this, my health bar was like barely visible and I couldn't read like where I was in the world. And I was like, okay, this is dumb. So I moved it in a little bit, and then all of a sudden I could see text, but still the HUD was kind of cut off, so I had to move it in again. I'm not saying like it's just like little tweaks. It was kind of like you guys went so far as to allow us to adjust this stuff. You should have at least taken into account.
I was gonna say I haven't had any issues with that, but I've had to adjust my the lighting 6 times now. And I
make it darker or make it lighter?
I finally brighter and darker because it doesn't look right to me. Because it either looks too light or it looks too dark. It's never felt right, and I came to the conclusion it's just my TV.
Well, there's like atmospheric triggers in the game which are kind of annoying to me. Like I noticed it when you go into a tower. If you're on like on the outside of the gate, it's all bright and sunshiny and stuff. And then once you cross through the gate, it's like dismal and dark and gray.
Well, my biggest issue was I want to say probably 2 hours into the game was when you're in the fight jumping over the rooftops and stuff like that between the buildings. And that cloud cover is kind of coming in, and it just made everything seem really blown out and just too white.
I think that was intentional.
Okay, well, that was annoying to me because it felt like everything looked too white.
I think that's kind of like the sun is beating directly on top of this thing, and it's supposed to be like that. I know I tweaked it just so like the little instructions said, so you can barely see the thing in the center, and then I just leave it there.
Yeah.
And so at that point, it's like this is how they wanted it, but I get through it as best I can. But like I said, there hasn't been any particular moment where I was like creeped out. The biggest issue I actually have with the game is just from playing other shooters. I keep spending my Vicar trying to pull up my iron sights.
The controls I thought were going to be an issue at first because I was like having a hard time. Like, man, this control layout's first. But after like 15 minutes of combat, I just got used to it.
I get used to it.
I never zoom in is what it is.
And plus, I don't know what it's like on the 360 version though. So
well, it's probably the same. The triggers, the left trigger is your Vigor and the right trigger is your gun.
Oh.
Is it L1 and R1?
Yep.
Okay, that's because with
L1, it's L1 and R1, and then your triggers on the PS3 remotes are your change up.
Why do
the wheels? It's reversed.
I wonder if they do that because that's how most shooters are on the PlayStation 3, which is so weird. I always change it so the triggers are the shooting.
And you got to click your zoom is clicking your right trigger.
Yep, that's
wait, right trigger or right stick? You mean
right stick?
Okay, yeah, that's what it is on there. I just don't do it though.
Crouch is circle.
Yep.
Melee's triangle.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So probably pretty much everything's the same except for the
shoulder buttons are flipped.
The shoulder buttons.
So yeah, I keep that's every once in a while. And when I get in combat and I realize that's what I'm doing, I'm like, oh wait, okay. So then I don't do that, and then I use the Vigor the right way. But then when you start exploring again, and then like you see a guy down the hallway, and I'm like, oh, I'll hit him with the possession spell instead of pulling up my iron sights.
It's equally as satisfying though to watch him beat his own head in with a stick.
Yes.
So
Which is the first time I did it. His back was to me, so I didn't see what he was doing, and then he just fell down dead. I'm like, what the hell happened? So I did it to another guy. He starts taking it. He's like, smack, smack.
There's
Smack,
nobody else
smack.
to fight, so he kills
Yeah,
himself.
and then he gets down on like one knee, and then he smacks himself one more time. Like, that was awesome. I told Mike about this earlier. So many times, like I said, because I don't aim, so I'm like running around with a machine gun, just like because that's how they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
I've seen movies from the 20s. They just shoot from the hip. I don't like that if I'm standing on top of a dead body, I don't have to look down to loot it. So many times I'll be in a firefight and I'll go to reload because the guy dipped behind cover, and instead I'll open up the inventory on a dead guy.
See, I'm fine with that because I have a one of my pieces of clothing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Looting bodies causes my health and my it causes my health and my shield to freeze for 6 seconds anytime you loot a body. So when you're in combat, you basically become invulnerable for that 6 seconds. So if I continuously am looting the bodies and shooting at the exact same time because it keeps freezing, making me invulnerable.
Yeah, but I don't have that. So like I'll loot it and we'll get like 2 or 3 free shots in me. So I'm like, God damn it. And so then it gets me out and I shoot 2 bullets and wait, that's right. I was trying to reload and I didn't. So now I'm reloading and he hits me a couple more times. Like, shit.
Another article of clothing I got was the
banana hammock.
No, it's the lightning damage with melee attack.
Yes, I have that. That is
when they start shocking and then their heads just explode.
The one I found was for fire.
Yeah, he found
the fire one. The fire one sucks because it will if you get them on their death blow and the fire goes, it disintegrates their body, and it's less likely that they'll drop one of those boxes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
because I noticed that sometimes they have boxes, but a lot of them don't.
Yeah, a lot of them, because that's one of the downsides to that fire one, is that when you kill people with that fire one, it disintegrates their body. Loot. It's a 50% less likely that you will get loot.
It clears a room really quick, and they can touch each other and kill each other. So,
well, it's the same thing with the lightning.
The lightning can chain.
If they're close, yeah.
Well, I'm saying they go running, screaming when they're on fire, and they'll run.
Oh yeah, they don't go when they're kind of like stuck in place when you.
Have you guys combined your plasmids yet?
Not yet.
Sorry. Your vigors. I apologize.
No.
No,
if you throw down one of your flaming traps, like hold down the devil's kiss and then drop it and then toss the crows. And then watch flaming crows go around and just kill everything.
Now, have you tried anything else?
That's
any other
the only one so far that I've seen that I've messed with. There's many others. I didn't
even think about doing that because
it's a thing. I know that it's going to be a thing that they'll get to later in the game, because then they'll start encouraging you to combine vigors.
Yeah,
but that's one I've seen where you toss a trap down and then you throw another one through the trap, and that's how you combine them typically.
So I wonder if you could make crows that could possess multiple people. By putting down like a possession trap and then throwing crows into them.
I'm still hoping for multiple possessions.
Andy just did an upgrade where it upgrades your crows, so when your crows kill somebody, the body turns into a nest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turns them into a trap.
Right? I haven't even seen that one yet. So
I saw it on a vending machine. I didn't buy it because I don't really use the crows too much.
I will.
That's the one he uses all the time. I use the Devil's Kiss a lot.
I use the Devil's Kiss, and now that I have it, the Bucking Bronco.
See, the Bucking Bronco, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I used it twice. I was like, okay, I'm done with this.
Well, the good thing is when you knock them in the air, if you shoot them, it spikes them into the ground.
Well, the other thing you could do is you use the Bucking Bronco, you knock them up in the air, you kill the other people that are in the area, and then you put Devil's Kiss traps underneath the Bucking Broncos. So when those end, they hit the ground and they explode.
Well, I
fuck
noticed
that.
like one of those big flamethrower guys, the guys that have the fire vigor,
Yeah.
was coming at me, and I hit him with the bunking Bronco, and he was like right in front of my face. So then I had the machine gun, so I loaded him up, and so every bullet would hit, and he'd start spinning and pushing backwards.
Nice.
So he just goes grrr, and like whipped him. It didn't kill him, but like by the time he hit the ground, he was dead because he had just pushed him up into the air and away from me.
Nice.
So it kind of like it ended, and then he just kind of like went, boom.
But
That was fun.
I'm enjoying the game.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
do appreciate how the way that you're transported to Colombia
Yeah.
very much is like the negative of how you were first transported to Rapture.
Because you went down.
Because you went okay, yeah. So
this
in
time.
the BioShock, you go down and it gets darker and darker and darker and creepy and nasty, and you get there and it's like, oh shit,
And it starts all creepy
shit's
and
everywhere.
nasty.
And this
Yeah.
one starts creepy and gets like nasty, and all of a sudden you bust through the clouds and it's like, hallelujah. And
Okay,
you land, it's all like everybody's like happy, happy, joy, joy.
that's what I want to ask. Opening 10 minutes. I guess I'm missing something. Like, what's
Anytime.
no,
No, I was.
I'm trying not to be a jerk again. I'm just trying to, like, because a lot of people were like, said they're like, they were blown away by the opening. I don't get it. I didn't watch the opening 10-minute video, so this is actually my first time like experiencing the opening of the game. I didn't watch the video of it or anything, and I just kind of I sat there as it happened. And the one thing I complained about was not being able to look any farther out the freaking window. I was like, this is all you're showing
strapped
me?
to a chair.
Well, you're strapped to the chair.
I get that, but I'm just saying, like,
He's getting defensive already, Sean. Be careful.
no,
Ease off.
I get that I was strapped to a chair, and I get that it's a tiny little portal, but I was just kind of porthole window. But I'm like, this. I guess I just don't get it. What's it didn't do anything for me.
The game starts off with it's all creepy and ass, in the rain and the storm and stuff, and you're being sent on this mission. It's like, oh, and it's very serious with like fucking dead bodies and erase your debt and shit. And then it's like you get up there and it's kind of like, well, this is rather pleasant. Like you bust through and it's like, oh, this is not what I was expecting. If you didn't know,
It's like that false sense that they're putting Booker into, essentially, that everything here is
bad. It's like,
I'm just gonna be able to walk in here and get this girl and blah blah blah. This isn't that bad.
And then it's like all of a sudden it's like, and then that moment switches when
the moment switches when the racism comes in.
oh my god! I was talking like I'm like, this game is so racist.
So, So is it just the transition? Is that what was supposed to be?
Yeah.
So
yeah, you bust through and you go from shitty, wherever you were on that lighthouse to where you think is going to be this huge hostile environment, which is in fact beautiful.
I guess because I didn't watch the opening 10-minute video, but I've seen video of the game.
Yeah.
So there was no, like, I knew what was going to be up there. It's like,
yeah. Well,
that's why I didn't land.
Right. This is going to sound like a weird comparison, but it reminds me of those old Star Trek, the original series episodes where they land on a planet and everything's amazing and perfect. And it's like, oh, something's going to be seedy and shitty about this place.
Or Walking Dead episode 2.
Yeah. Yep. I think what it has to do is the fact that it's a familiar setup to BioShock 1.
Yeah.
But it goes the opposite way.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of a play off of that.
Okay.
And I think it was an interesting way to kind of, slowly introduce the story to kind of show how desperate Booker is.
Yeah.
What he's gotten himself into, which
what's making him do this? I'm interested to see what's going on. Like, what debt is he erasing that's making him want to strap himself to a rocket and shoot himself into fucking orbit?
It's like Alice going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Except he got shut out of the rabbit hole. Um, it's it's introducing the city and it's an interesting way to introduce, because almost the city itself is a character with how
Yes.
much
Yeah.
moving and how vibrant it is, and how it's just such a stark contrast from everything in the BioShock series or System Shock itself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it's the first time they've had a city that has been in its
This
in its
city.
full swing.
Yeah, this city isn't ruined yet.
Yeah. Essentially, every other one of the games in the series with System Shock and BioShock, it's been in ruins. It's after everything's gone wrong, and the beautiful part about it is you get to be the catalyst that makes everything go wrong.
Yes, I have a feeling this ends with him like destroying this city.
That's the one thing that's kind of just been disappointing to me about the game so far, is that when the game starts, it is this vibrant thing and it's great, and then it just that the racism moment happens, and then it flips, and then slowly you start going off the beaten path that is the other parts of Colombia, which are like shut down, broken attractions, and it very slowly loses that.
I think it's been
that utopia
so
look.
far, I think it's been a nice contrast to the fact that you keep transitioning from closed down sections of the city to vibrant open sections of the city. So far, for me at least, I'm not as far as you guys are.
Well, you're right. You're right there. I mean, like you're right at that really part where you walk into the next area you're going into is like a closed down, like broken, graffitied up. Basically, it looks like the revolution already occurred in this area.
Well, so far you haven't. I mean, we're getting to the other thing that I love is the fact that we're almost I'm 5 hours in, and the fact that I've heard so many references to the Vox Populi,
and I haven't
and so much setup for the Vox, and we haven't even seen them yet.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple.
Have you guys seen them yet?
No,
I've seen. Okay. I went into this one area where I found a one of the tapes. What are they called? I forgot what they're called.
It's about to hit, because Andy, I know, is not that much farther ahead of us, and he just met the Vox Populi.
No, I haven't met any of them yet. They were
the other shoe's about to drop. So
yeah. Well, it was like you go into this thing and there's just a bunch of bodies everywhere. So I'm like, sweet, and I'm start looting all of them. I'm like, yeah, $30 I'll take that right here. So, and then I'm looking, I'm like, they all got like red sashes and red paint on their face. I'm like, oh, I've seen the videos with these guys. And then you find a thing, and like the cops had come in and looking for weapons and just fucking wiped them all out. And then the next boss that you're gonna fight, Danner, came in after them and wiped all of them out too.
Yeah.
It was like this, so it was like, and all the bodies are just there. I think I found the video recorder or whatever with a knife. It had a knife and it was stuck to a cabinet.
Yeah. I found that one.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that BioShock moment where you walk into a room and then turn around and a guy's in your face.
Oh, I hope that doesn't happen.
I love it when I love.
There's been a couple of times where I'm like, there's somebody right here. Oh no, there's not. Never mind. Like,
so, but yeah, that's obviously I'm on my way back out of that broken down space. So it'll be interesting when I go back in and see how much more of the world takes place and the vibrancy. But also felt like the area after that opening scene, the world wasn't so much run down. Like I wasn't traversing through run down areas. I was traversing through areas where there weren't any people.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole lot of people in this one section. Nobody living in this section.
Well,
and then there's
the things I'm taking away from it are, when you look at things, you look at the people that live there. If you listen to the conversations that people are having, just how sheltered and hierarchical the people are.
You mean stuck up?
bitchy.
Yeah.
Horribly racist.
Bourgeoisie, I guess would be a good term. They're
Yeah.
very bourgeois characters, and it's how so removed and so up the prophet's butt they are.
Yeah.
And then you come across those few instances of honesty that I've come so far, like the quote unquote slaves in the game, where they are incredibly well educated and well spoken, but when they know that you're paying attention to them, they dumb down.
Yes, master.
Oh, yes, master. How are you? I'm just scrubbing the floor. Or like the guy that was the one black guy that's smoking a cigarette and goes, "Oh, I don't know how I got this." And Booker goes, "Hey, man, smoke them if you got them. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir." So it's one of those like just little nuances like that, or like all the workers, like the Irish guy that's working the pump house at the beach, how he
Yeah.
just doesn't care that you're there. There's like just certain people that are not like that don't buy into the profit thing and see you and just don't even react to you like they know what you're doing and they want nothing to do with it, but they're certainly
just
not
like,
going to say anything.
Hey, man, I didn't see you. If someone
But there's
asked,
just
you
so
weren't here.
much like underlying, like every single character seemed to have a purpose of conveying the story of what's really going on.
So, two things. I'm interested to see, did you read the timeline weapon that was in the museum area?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Take it away,
I know
Professor
that
Powers.
that's coming next. So
Well, I won't. I'm not gonna spoil it here because I just want Danner to read it and stuff. We can talk about it on next week's episode.
I did hear Andy told me a little bit. He's like you got to read it. It's so fun. It's so good.
Well, it's like
So wait, where is it?
there's a statue. You know the room where you go in and it splits off into the two battles. Like you walk through a miniature version of the two battles.
Okay.
There's
like
the Battle of
animatronic
Wounded
place
Knee. Battle of
and
Wounded
the
Knee,
whatever
and then,
revolt.
Yeah.
The prophet keeps on placing
okay.
himself into all the battles to make it look like he was the hero.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but if you read that timeline, like there's in the center in the main room.
Is it like the one? It's like a statue that's got like script that goes around in a circle. Like
Yes.
if you follow the.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I got to read. Okay.
Yeah, it's like in three or four sections. It repeats itself as it wraps around like 3 or 4 times, and it's a short timeline of the prophet's history. And the thing that I don't get is between his birth. Maybe I'm doing the math wrong. I could be because I suck at math. But it says he was born in like 18. I think it says he was born in 1874, and by 1890 he was in the Battle of Wounded Knee.
Let me do 16.
And then
that's actually.
And then the whole thing, the timeline ends in 1912. So he's not even.
Well, it is 1912.
Yeah. So the timeline ends in 1912. So he's like 30, 40.
And he's full white hair.
He doesn't look like that's what I was kind of getting at. He doesn't like the way that timeline has it laid out. I don't think he should look like the full-headed, white bearded guy like Colonel Sanders.
But that's how racist white guys look. Like
Racism ages real fast. Yeah.
he needs a white suit and a black bow tie.
Takes a lot out of you.
I just imagine that at one point in time he will be holding a bucket of chicken.
So I noticed that and I was like, there's something above and beyond the weirdness.
There's a lot of, if that's the one weird thing that you picked up on so far.
Well,
not
no,
the
it's
fact
not.
that the kid was born in 7 days.
Okay, I picked up on that, but I'm saying like I was expecting. That's the first time I'd seen a timeline of the prophet, and so I was expecting him to be like, yeah, he's like a 60-year-old dude, and he had a kid in 7 days. Like it just keeps getting weirder. It's not, it's so I was. I one of my favorite little videos that you watch is the one that says the city floats on women's intuition.
Yeah, that's what keeps this. How does it stay
Quantum
aloft?
mechanics and women's intuition.
Well,
Yeah.
doesn't it say like quantum mechanics, or otherwise known as women's intuition?
Something like
I
that.
think that's what it was.
There was one where it talks about the I forget what it is. It's just another racist thing, and it's talking about the Irish menace or something. And the
Yeah.
first picture it shows is a guy passed out on a bar, like laying his head on a bar with like 10 empty bottles around him.
All right.
I was like, wow, this game is not out to make friends.
All right, we've got a choice here. We can either keep talking about the first 5 hours of BioShock Infinite, or we can take a break for a Grand Con ad and talk about news on the other side.
Let's take a break.
Coming to Grand Rapids, Michigan on September 21st and 22nd is GrandCon Gaming and Comics Convention, presented by Celebration Cinemas. Join us in playing or chatting it up with fellow enthusiasts in a community that understands your passions. Get lost in the adventure of your favorite role-playing game. Admire costumes and art from vendors and attendees. Meet the creators behind your favorite mainstream and independent games and comic books. Check out unpublished games and sneak peek at things to come. You can get all this and more at GrandCon. For more information, please visit www.grand-con.com.
And before we start going, is it picking up our voices?
Yeah, I paused it. I didn't stop it.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, Shanzi, we can still hear you.
I don't care about that. I just don't want Danner to blow a blood vessel.
And we're back on the other side of a Grand Con ad.
A very long one.
Coming to Grand Rapids,
America?
Michigan this September. Which, Steve just said in the ad. Wow. We got sidetracked in that break. So let's see. We've had 2 CEOs retire in the last week. We had the head of EA,
Dropping like flies.
John Riccitello, step down due to poor performance, basically. He said he was holding himself accountable for the company's recent financial failures.
I would hold the games responsible, whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm kind of bummed about this, because when he came on, that's when EA, like that brief period where EA was just like releasing
Good, interesting titles.
Yeah, like Mirror's Edge,
Edge.
Dante's Inferno, we got Dead Space.
New interesting IPs, not like, hey, this is one of our 7 franchises
and
we
Dead
have.
Space 4 has been canceled and shelved.
Yep. And then forgive me, but I can't even pronounce the CEO of Square Enix.
It's not important. The name's not important.
Isn't he the guy that got up at the PlayStation 4 announcement and said they'd have a Final Fantasy announcement at E3?
Yes, that was the
He won't.
Yeah, he won't.
I would have
be
fired
there.
him for that reason alone.
I was like, did you really just get up there and do what I think you did? Yes.
I just want you all to know that there will be a Final Fantasy game coming for the PlayStation 4.
Now, this is
Thank you, genius.
This, I think, is the bigger deal, because he stepped down for the same reasons as Riccitello did. Only,
But the game sales are what baffle me.
so apparently, Sleeping Dogs, Hitman, and Tomb Raider all sold over 3 million copies each.
That's wrong. Those numbers are wrong because I looked into it more. Sleeping Dogs was 1.64 million.
Did you look worldwide?
Or just
From the
United
numbers
States?
I saw in the article I read, it basically said that Hitman and Sleeping Dogs were roughly 3.5 million between the two of them.
See, I saw like 3.1, 3.2, and 3.6.
Oh.
But
Well,
whatever.
Do we
The
know if
numbers
it's
I
worldwide?
saw.
Okay, but still.
And then Tomb Raider was 3.4 in the article that I read.
And they're all being considered failures.
Which I don't Tomb Raider hasn't even been out a solid month yet. I know the fiscal year ends
Fail.
on the 31st of March.
Fail!
That's the bigger issue here, right? 3 million copies in 2 weeks and your game's a failure.
I don't understand. And the game is good. Every single one of those games are critically acclaimed. Number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mirror's Edge says hi.
They were
Well,
all
yeah.
praise. All three of those games were praise. My other issue with this, every single one of those IPs are IDOS IPs, which also chaps my ass. Because
I think it's getting to the point where it's like, oh, this
it's
isn't
like
this
they're
huge.
saying that the IDOS properties are dragging down Square, when to be honest, the only thing I think that's been dragging down Square lately is the fact that they keep releasing Final Fantasy games that play like it's still 1997.
Or how about the fact that they're the only ones, Square, or not Square, sorry, IDOS is the only one releasing games for them right now?
Yeah. And the fact that I'm sorry, I'm just getting pissed. The Tomb Raider was so good. It was such a good kick in the ass for that entire series. And the thought now that we might not even get
Tomb Raider 2?
Tomb Raider 2 pisses me off because it was so well done.
All right,
I want to see another game in that series.
Let me backpedal here real quick just so we can get our
And
numbers straight.
MGM, as of today, they just got more money because MGM just re-upped the rights to Tomb Raider and are fast-tracking another Tomb Raider movie.
Let me just go back here real quick. Sleeping Dogs, since August 2012, has sold 1.75 million copies.
See?
Hitman Absolution since November sold 3.6 million units. And Tomb Raider, released 3 weeks ago, is approximately 3.4 million units. I'm just...
How much money did they spend on that game to not turn a profit? And from what I heard with Tomb Raider, and was it... I think a lot of the issues they said with the money lost was the fact that they spent so much money on advertisement.
I wonder how much of this also has to do with them buying IDOS. Or was that even this fiscal year? Like...
I don't think it was. I think it was last fiscal year.
Okay.
I think.
What is it? Is this the first? Is that the first batch of games released since they bought them?
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is their first moneymaker. It's like, wait, we paid this much for you, and this is how much you're making. Screw you guys.
But what? Why?
But you gotta take like 3.4
times
million
60
copies.
And this doesn't account for digital
Times six.
sales. So this
Which is becoming more and more.
yes.
Yeah, that was the other thing that blew me away about the article is it didn't count any digital downloads at all. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Is that? I don't get that. Is that can't be any harder to track?
And then on top of that, they also released the Hitman collection. On top of that,
it's because the MPDs don't track digital sales because it's like Steam would have to release that stuff or Origin.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not,
so
and
dumb.
I guess the MPDs just don't go and ask them. So,
But it seems like it's getting to the point where it's like these companies are just. It's not about the games anymore. It's like, oh, you didn't release a Call of Duty that fucking crashed the servers and sold 10 million copies in a month.
that's
a failure.
That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
They budget these games. I mean, we don't even know if Tomb Raider made its money back.
Yeah, but again, it's a month.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, is it a failure because it didn't live up to their expectations, or is it a failure like a blockbuster movie would be a failure where it didn't even cover its own losses? It's like we don't even know what type of. We just know it didn't meet their expectations.
3.4, actually 3.6 times $60, $216 million. You cannot tell me you did not make a profit on Hitman.
Well, we've all heard the stories that it's costing hundreds of millions of dollars to build a game now.
Well, they
how long-
claimed that it spent, what was it? They were claiming that it spent, the Irrational spent $200 million making BioShock.
Yeah.
And Ken Levine came out and goes, bullshit. No, it did not cost that much money.
Well, that's the other thing I kind of, yesterday when all this stuff came out about, the SF being a failure, and I'm wondering, this obviously after the last segment, we're all really enjoying BioShock, but shit.
I really enjoyed Tomb Raider too.
I know, but I'm just like,
but if
it's
that's
kind of
the
scary,
if
isn't
that's
it?
the point it's getting to, Like, how are these game companies, how are these games going to make a profit if it's costing more and more money to produce these A-list titles and they're supposedly not profitable? These
But
companies are going to collapse.
well, but at the same time, it's kind of one of those things where I'm starting to play more and more indie games that are sometimes better than the bigger games.
Well, I
Right.
agree. I don't, or I'm not arguing with that.
I it's just interesting. I mean maybe because Tomb Raider is done, it'll kind of get the Assassin's Creed thing where it's like, okay, you've laid the groundwork, we know what you're doing. You know, it won't be 5 years again, it'll be 2.
Yeah, because they can just build on the previous engines and the stuff made already.
Right. So, and
They got to switch over for next gen now, though.
but that's not that hard though, because remember Tomb Raider came out on PC,
Yeah. And all three of those games have Metascores in the 80s.
which doesn't matter.
But I mean,
No, that's
they weren't
good.
They were well received. It's not like, and they sold.
They were well received by critics and by gamers.
Yeah,
Right.
or it's usually one or the other.
But it's weird because sometimes sometimes you hear stories about, oh, the Metacritic score was super high. That's what happened with Dead Space. The Metacritic score was really high, so they gave it a sequel, even though the first one didn't do very well. And then,
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I mean, like, usually the companies seem to go more by that. Like, oh, it's this. Everybody thought this game was shit. Fucking.
Well, Mirror's Edge was critically acclaimed, and it's been a fight like hell to get a sequel for.
because it sold like Dead Space
Because it
did
sold
bad, it
play.
did it worse.
And just remember, every time I think about like these games possibly not getting sequels, I'm like, they made a fucking Two Worlds 2.
Yeah, but like my favorite line.
That is a good perspective to put it.
My favorite line from that series, because Allie played the first one.
Me
for a little bit.
thinks.
Nope.
She played the first one purposely.
Yeah. My favorite line is whenever you walk up to somebody to buy something, regardless of what it is, they always open up with, I buy, I sell. No
They're
shit.
GameStop employees.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of GameStop, I finally found the one product that is immune from GameStop's resale, and that is Skylanders.
Nice.
They will not take the games because they don't take the portals.
They also won't buy racing wheels, and they also won't buy Rock Band drums.
DC Universe Online they wouldn't take because every game came with a one-use code.
Well,
When I bought that on
Puts a hole in
PlayStation,
your shit.
which I still have. I don't have my PlayStation, but I have my game.
which is funny because now DC Online is free to play.
Free. Yup.
So yeah, that's kind of sad. Makes me kind of worried about next gen. And the flip side of that though, Sony is doing all the right things right now with indie developers.
Yes, they are.
They're
kissing their asses like no tomorrow.
hardcore. And I think one of the things that actually came out of this whole thing, because GDC is kind of happening right now, is developers have come out and said that the reason they're favoring the PlayStation right now is because Microsoft wants exclusives. And Sony's just like, we just want your game on our system.
It's like, if you want to, we'll make it another one, fine, but we want you here too.
Because Sony, all they have to do is be like, we already have good exclusives. We don't need to.
We just need to lock those down, keep them exclusives.
We need to get everybody else wanting to develop for our system.
Which, by the way, one of the games I'm kind of excited for right now is Primal Carnage.
I've heard that announced. I don't know.
Okay, we all know what the PC version is, right?
Oh,
It's the first-person shooters versus the dinosaurs.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Primal Carnage is they haven't announced a multiplayer component to it yet, but it's a first-person. It's an FPD, a first-person dinosaur kind of thing, or oh no, wait, it's a single-player campaign, but you play as a dinosaur.
Yeah. From the point of view of the dinosaur.
I'm assuming it's like Aliens versus Predator on the PC where he plays the queen.
Probably. Only this looks really cool because you look like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
Why don't they just call it Jurassic Park then?
But no, they're
Sorry.
I love how he could easily go get these audio clips,
but I'm not.
But we
going
could just
to.
have you do them, and it's so
Yep.
much better.
Absolutely.
It's cheaper.
It's the same price, like.
But yeah, I guess they kind of
Time. You can't put a price on time, Sean.
5 minutes.
they laxed their policy. You no longer have to float your concept past Sony. Like they don't have to approve it.
Nice.
And they're opening themselves. Excuse me. Wow, that was really bad.
Good job.
They're opening themselves up to all different kinds of games. So a big thing right now in the indie community is to release alpha content. Like Minecraft started it. Like Minecraft isn't finished, but you can go ahead and buy it, and they'll just keep giving you updates. Another game that I've played recently is the what is it called? Oh dear.
Sony's always been kind of big about user-generated content to fuel a game. I mean, with Little Big Planet and Echo Chrome.
Right, but those games have been they've had a finished product to sell you, and then stuff has just been added to it.
Yeah.
They're okay with people releasing like Prison Architect, which isn't even an alpha right now, but you can go ahead and buy it right now, so you can play it right now. The dev would just regularly update the game, but it's kind of like you're buying it at your own peril. Like
so essentially you're buying.
You're literally funding the game as it's being built.
Of being built.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like you buy. The more people that buy the alpha, the better. The more money they have to then build to then improve the game.
Yes, and Sony has said they're completely fine with this as long as it doesn't break their stuff.
Yeah.
And they said that's not just a PlayStation 4 thing. They said that they are going to apply that to the PlayStation 3 and the Vita.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff right, and Microsoft still hasn't announced a single thing.
We know that it's going to have built-in Connect capability.
Yep, we know that. And
I always hate when they throw around the word capability. It's like it has the capability, it doesn't fucking have it. It's like when the new Xbox or when the new version of Xbox came out, like this is Connect ready.
Yep. Speaking of
the new system has the capability of blowing you. It may not necessarily do that.
But it may just clamp down and
oh Jesus.
Get that image out of your head ever. You're welcome for the nightmares.
Let's see. We all saw the.
That's why this tray doesn't work on my 360 anymore. What? Wait. Are we recording? Oh God. Sorry.
We've all seen the Battlefield 4 footage.
Yep. So pretty.
Now here's what's funny.
Now is that next gen or is that current gen?
Okay. Now here's what this is where it gets kind of confusing, right? That demo was running on the PC. And EA, anyone that's in the game, anyone that's remotely into gaming knows that it's coming to next gen.
Yeah.
But EA has not announced it for anything other than PC.
They announced pre-order bonuses on the end of that thing, and that was it.
Well, they announced it for the PC, the 360, and the PlayStation 3. They have not. It's coming. It'll come to next gen because all the next gen hardware is basically PC stuff.
Well, that's automatically going to give it a push, though, since Activision already announced that the new Call of Duty game is not going to be on current gen systems.
Yeah.
Well,
which I think gives.
I think that was
a big boost.
Now we're talking about the Call of Duty Ghost rumors, right?
Well, I'm just saying that's Activision said the next Call of Duty game will only be on.
Yeah, the next Call of Duty game that's going to come out is not going to be on this console generation.
Okay,
so they've said.
The article I saw that I texted you guys about was a rumor. So I haven't seen an official thing.
Well,
The only
Activision
official thing that
say
come out about the
which
next Call of Duty
Call of
was
Duty.
that it's going to be a next gen system.
They didn't say anything else. They're not saying any details about it, but they're like, whatever they're like, whatever the next Call of Duty games be, we don't know what that's gonna be, but it's not gonna be on this generation.
Modern Warfare 4.
But Battlefield looks pretty good for a shooter.
Yeah.
No, it looks like the words that are about to come out of my mouth. I never thought. I think it might be done with Call of Duty.
Yes, come to the Battlefield dark side.
I think there's more going on. Like, I enjoyed playing Battlefield 3, the little that I played with it, and it felt more rewarding in maybe the 3 hours I've put into multiplayer than the 100+ hours I've put into Call of Duty, just because there's so much more going on.
Yeah.
The problem is I just don't have the people to play with.
Now, if the other rumors I've heard about Battlefield 4 come to fruition, I'm all for jumping the COD ship. Which is
when you put it in that terms, I can't help but jump on the COD ship, or off the COD ship, or back on the COD ship, or off again, on again. Just COD all the time.
They said that they're for starters, Battlefield 4, at least on the PC, of course, and presumably on the next gen stuff, is going to run at 60 frames per second, which is what
all the time.
Yeah, which is what Call of Duty does on right now. And Battlefield has never run; it's always run at 30 frames per second.
Yeah, because it's got so much shit happening, it can't run at 60 frames. It's like your game can't run at 60 frames per second when there's 4 planes and 6 helicopters and 3 tanks and fucking explosions everywhere and buildings falling down. And
the thing that was most amazing to me about the video is everything was pretty cool looking, but that shot of them going across the construction site with all the birds flying in the sky, like a hurricane of birds flying around. For some reason, that was the most impressive thing to me.
That
about the
birdies.
That jumped out at me. And then the other thing that jumped out at me was early on in the video when you're walking through the school.
Yeah.
I don't know
how detailed the school was.
Yes, there's a scene in there where I was like, oh wait, am I still watching a game? And then I noticed the HUD was there. It looks great. As to how it plays and stuff like that, like
I hope it plays better than the I will say that Battlefield 3 multiplayer is awesome. Battlefield 3 storyline is the most. I made it 20 minutes into the storyline and I go, I'm done. I fucking can't play the storyline. It is so atrocious that I'm hoping that just from the look of the video, because since that was all the story mode, I can already tell that it's 30 times better than 3's, because man, it was painful to sit through the 20 minutes of the storyline in that game.
I just hope it plays better than 3.
The playing,
you're just mad because you got your ass kicked.
The storyline that was driving me crazy.
So I just couldn't get over the
give it another chance when probably this summer. I will probably try to play the single player again, but I'm gonna have to be good and drunk.
Especially if you're gonna be drunk, it's just funner to do the multiplayer.
So
I got it on PS3 though, so I can't play with you.
See, that's a bonus. I don't have to play with you.
So Battlefield 4 was Frostbite 3's big debut.
Yeah.
Which the great part about that is apparently that engine is going EA wide. That's going to be their go-to.
Yeah, they're going to use it in a lot of things. It's going to be their Unreal Engine.
Yeah, supposedly, the next Burnout or Need for Speed.
Mass Effect 4.
They could,
because that would be boner inspiring.
I know. Obviously, Crysis is still going to use Crytek.
Yeah, it always will.
But like Burnout, Need for Speed,
Dragon Age,
that's all supposed to be Frostbite stuff. Which more power to DICE. Awesome work, pulling that off. But that showed up.
I always did like studios that made their own engines.
Yeah.
Because it seems like whatever that, like, like with Gears and their fucking, what is it, Unreal,
Yeah.
and them with Frostbite and Crytek, and it just seems it makes their own individual games that much better. Other games can incorporate it, but it just looks so awesome when it's played on the game it was designed to be played with.
So, speaking of engines, Konami showed up with Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pains, running on their Fox engine. It's definitely a Metal Gear Solid game.
Nice segue, by the way.
That's all I can say. Danner told me that I knew that they had announced it, but I didn't know there was a trailer yet. And then Danner said that there was a trailer for it, and I watched it, and I texted it back and said, "Yep, that's Metal Gear Solid, flaming horses and everything."
It was the flaming whale that got me. The on fire whale. I was like, what the hell? What did I describe it to you as? It looks like a Vicodin fueled fever dream.
Or that Snake is dying and
losing his shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was just like, and I told that went into me
smoked
going on
one
a tirade.
Maybe those aren't regular tobacco cigarettes he's smoking.
I was going on a tirade with Mike about them. Like, I don't understand the Metal Gear series. I don't know if this is Big Boss or if this is Snake. I'm so lost. I'm like 3 games behind in the series. I have no idea what's going on anymore. I'm like, I don't even know. After watching that trailer, I'm like, I don't even know if I want to anymore.
And see, I've played like a majority of the games, and after watching that trailer, I have no idea what's going on because, like, Big Boss is in there, Ocelot is in there, Liquid Snake is in there, Mantis, Solid Snake is in there. I was like, what is it's supposed to take place after Peace Walker, which is the sequel to Metal Gear Solid 3. So it's kind of like
that's my problem with Gears. I fucking don't. The timeline is so messed up.
But you know what? The games are so much fun. I think at the end of the day, though, my real problem with this Metal Gear Solid franchise is at some point it became like almost a spy parody.
Yeah, where it's like it almost makes fun of spy stuff.
To a certain degree, it's more like tongue in cheek, or like it's at least self-aware. Because the first game almost played itself serious. I mean, you had fantastic characters. You had a guy, like, one of the coolest characters was Raven, and he had an A-10 Warthog's cannon for his gun. I mean, yeah. No person can carry that gun.
I was going to say, this is the thing that just blows me away about that series is how good Metal Gear Solid was, and then how crazy 2 was. And then when I fell asleep in the opening sequence of 3, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore.
My problem with 3 was that I started playing it after I had already gotten a 360. And I wasn't going back.
Yeah.
I missed out on Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metroid Prime 2 and Grand Theft Auto San Andreas because to this day, I think my cousin stole my Christmas presents. So I missed out on it.
Did you kick their ass?
No, because I never really saw them again. I was just... All of a sudden, he ended up with those 3 games, and I didn't have those 3 games.
See, the way he says, like, oh, I never saw them again. Did anybody else ever see them again? Like, stole my games, motherfucker. I'm going to go all Dexter on your ass.
So, and then... My friend Rob...
Seems like a little extreme over games, Sean.
My friend Rob, for my birthday in 2006, got me the subsistence version of Metal Gear Solid 3, and I tried it, and I was like, this looks like ass. Not gonna happen. But I've kind of paid attention, and I know what's what. It did get loopy with Metal Gear Solid 2, because all of a sudden you had a guy that was supposed to be like a demolitions expert rollerblading around with C4. Not to mention all of a sudden you had like extremely supernatural characters that could take bullets to the head and fall down.
That's what I like in my agents.
And fall down antimatter liquid that's supposed to act like a black hole and still live. Like, it's like, what is going on?
No
But-
body, no death, man.
But I played all the way through 4. If 4 was a nice change up for the series, I think. And if it kind of carries over into 5, which it sounds like 5 is going like with an open world kind of Assassin's Creed-esque mentality, it could be pretty fun. Although I still, we're talking about the announcement trailer and no idea what we're looking at. So the what they have said is that Snake has been in a coma for 10 years, or 9 if you want to get technical.
The last games were all just, coma dreams.
That would be crazy, right? But that's not above them. It's really
Okay, so if
not.
it happens, I get dibs because I called
think
that
about
shit.
It. Think about it. What's happened in the last 10 years? Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and 4. So Snake was really in a coma for those 9 years.
He's like, I put on this cardboard box and then somebody knocked me out and I woke up just now.
Why is this exclamation point above my head?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm so confused. When did I lose my eye?
Does anyone else have anything of note they want to just throw in here?
I'm sure.
Did you tip your chair? Please tell me you tipped your chair.
No, a bin of toys just fell out of nowhere behind me. I think the house is trying to tell me.
Oh, watch out, it's Songbird, man.
Quick aside, Limbo is coming to the Vita without touch controls. Yeah. The best part of that entire thing.
And Walking Dead's coming to the Vita as well.
Mm-hmm. The best part about the whole Limbo thing is, though, no touch controls. Yay! And then did I talk about I can't think of the name of the game right now. The Bastion guys. Did I talk about that in the last show? Yeah, I did.
I love when he answers his own questions.
I'm trying to think. Do you guys remember if I talked about it? I can't remember the name of the game. I'm so bad today.
Then yes, you did talk about the name of the game. We don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
That I feel sorry for anybody that bought that Walking Dead game.
The new one.
Yeah, I went to work and I have 2 coworkers that are hardcore the show, Walking Dead fans. Never read the books, and they're like, "Oh my god, I got the one girl." She's like, "I got it in the mail today. I'm so excited. I just want to be." I'm like holding back the grin on my face, like, "Yeah, let me know how that is."
I watched Grovis play the first part of that game.
Oh my god, that was hilarious.
Did you watch that?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
The only part is like when he gets scared with the ranger part and he turns. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit. He's like, good one. Oh, you got me there.
I like how he became a leprechaun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyone have anything they want to throw on the end
accent.
other than that? Nothing? Want to wrap it up so we can
really.
go?
Go get Skyshock or whatever the fuck.
No, go get BioShock Infinite.
Bye, Danner.
So,
Jerk face.
we're going to do a hybrid. Everyone can say their own credentials. But if you want to get in touch with us, you can comment on our parent site at geekcastradio.com or send us emails at feedback@geekcastradio.com. Just in the subject line, let us know what show you're writing in about, because we have so many. You can find myself, Michael Powers, on Twitter, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network at Booth Ninja 81. Danner?
You can find me on Twitter at ArtDanner, on Xbox Live at Weapon Space 12, and on PSN at X51 The Machine Man.
Shanzi?
Yep. You can find me on Twitter at Shawnzy Brown. And you can find me on Xbox at Weapon 87. And as soon as the next gen comes out, you find me on PlayStation. What was it? I can't remember what my PlayStation
It was
was.
Weapon 87.
Was it still?
Yep.
I
Still Weapon 87.
it's
Unoriginal bastard.
been on so long. Hey, I'm better than you on both consoles.
Which,
so.
by the way, if the rumors are true, we won't have to delete you because they're going to raise the friends cap.
Woohoo! Yeah, like your bullshit. Your friends list is full. Like, what? You're gonna clear off one of the other 4 people? Like,
Danner,
He's got at least like 15, man.
15.
Danner, you want
Ooh.
to plug our music guy?
And you can also listen. Well, I wouldn't say listen. You can
Good job.
follow
Way to mess it up.
our
He's still
music
jittery from
guy
the toy bin, folks.
at Benny Dooms at Benny Dooms on Twitter. Also check out the link for his website and his Twitter page, and you will be able to see how he makes the music he makes. It's a pretty sweet website.
Next week, we're going to have part 4 of the portable gaming extravaganza.
The final part,
Ooh.
The epic conclusion. Dun,
the
dun, dun.
epic conclusion.
Can we do the final part with a question mark?
Can we open the
This
intro
has been
for
part
it with
the last
the
part.
final
Or
countdown?
has it?
The final countdown?
Because it's a final countdown.
All right, we're out.
There's
Sorry.
nothing like a little bit of Asia to get you going.
Don't you mean Skyshock? Skyo-Shock or whatever?
I'm not the only one that calls it that.
Can we not call it that because that just sounds dumb?
Can we only call it that?
I refuse. I will not acknowledge it by that name.
I will name this episode Skyo-Shock.
You can do that, and this will be my last episode.
Don't.
Yes.
He's like, that's all it would have taken? Jesus, you could have told me a year ago.
I mean, I will never leave.